Hey, welcome to another vlog inside my life as a sex scholar. So today I am going to sign in to the XBiz Awards Show and Conference. This is a really fun award show that celebrates the work of sex workers, porn stars, all that good stuff. I am going to be teaming up with Pineapple Support today, which is a company that offers therapy and mental health services to sex workers. And I'm doing a workshop with them all about releasing erotic trauma. That'll be in a couple of days, so I'll bring you with me to that as well. And I ran into Danny Santos, someone who I love working with you.
I love working with you too, boo.
Yeah, and we work together often doing mental health services for porn stars and sex workers.
Pineapple Support.
Pineapple Support. And what are you doing? You're doing a sound bath. What else are you doing for the porn
just
stars?
meeting up with the people. I'm doing a sound bath with them. We're going to do spiritual healing, some shamanic work.
Love it. Love it. And then I'm going to heal these hoes with some sexy science.
That's right, baby.
You know,
Come
from
through.
spirituality to science, we got you.
Pleasure science, baby.
Yeah. So let's go in. XBiz in the Pineapple Support Suite, and I just met Mia, and I loved your story so much that I felt like other people needed to know about it, and I wanted to share it. So who are you, and what is your company, and how did you get to where you are?
Well, thank you so much. So my company is Mia Lee Financial. It's an investment advisory firm specifically for adult entertainers across the industry. So I worked in finance for 12 years. I'm licensed as a CPA and a registered investment advisor, and I've been a whore for the last 6 years, proudly so. So I'm a high-end escort in New York and a stripper, and then I also do some online content creation. So I'm not leaving the industry for my company, I'm still in the industry. And I have dedicated my career within the adult entertainment industry partially to financial literacy, previously pro bono, and now through my company. I just have this life passion for promoting, spreading, and increasing financial literacy and independence amongst adult entertainers, women, and marginalized people.
I love that. I mean, it's so important, but I feel like especially for sex workers and people in our industry, because other folks don't want to help us a lot of the times, right? I mean, have you found that to be true?
So it's a combination of they don't want to help us, and there's a lot of like predatory behavior. That's probably an understatement, like scammers. And I think that financial literacy is lacking across a lot of communities and industries. So that's what I'm speaking about tomorrow, is how to gain financial literacy and overcome money trauma.
Oh, yes. If you could give folks one tip, especially our adult industry folks, about money, what would it be?
Get rich slowly.
Oh, can you say a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I think in our entertainment industry, we're accustomed to fast, immediate gratification, which is how our cash flows work. And that's totally fine, but that doesn't necessarily apply to investing or building your long-term wealth. So if it sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme, it's probably a scam. And you'll see people who get lucky on individual stock picks, on investing in altcoins, on certain cryptocurrencies, but I'm honestly pretty old school. My company is old school, where we help our clients get rich slowly. So they basically treat their brokerage account with my company like a savings account, and they put in money every month, and we invest it for them in accordance with their risk tolerance and their investment goals. And we don't promise outsized returns relative to the market. We don't pick individual stocks. We put them in baskets and indices of investments across asset classes, so equities, bonds, debt, cash equivalents, based on their goals and risk tolerance.
That is the coolest shit. I'm so impressed.
Really?
And
That's so
I want to work
boring.
with you now. No, because
we would love to have you as a
Yeah.
client.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, sign me up and get me rich slow. Which is also good sex advice. Sex is better slower too, often, right? When we take our
Unless
time.
it's a 1 hour booking with a client, then you really want to get it done. But I'm just saying, I mean, if the guy paid for an hour, I'm not sticking around after the time is up.
Amen. Yep. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to see your talk tomorrow. So we are up here on the 5th floor of the Climpton Hotel for XBiz, where they have all the business cribs, and you can go through and meet all these different sex industry professionals, including Pro13, which is an incredible new STI testing company where they will send you STI tests and give you your results in 24 hours. It's incredible, and it's very well vetted. I met the doctor who founded the company. Yeah, but let's go into this room, because this room looked really cool. We're back, baby.
Oh yeah.
And I love how we keep arriving at exactly the same time and then seeing each other. But today's our big event, so Danny has his sound bowl, beautiful things. I have all my stuff, and let's go inside of XBiz. Thank you, babe.
Girl.
I'm not wearing undies.
Ooh, I have a jock strap on.
Yay! We're about to begin.
So, I want to thank you all for coming, and thank you for putting yourself first.
I am a sex scholar. I own a company called Pleasure Science, and today we're going to be doing something called an erotic release, and then we're going to be writing a pleasure manifesto. And so what I really want us to do today is really connect to the wisdom of our body. You know, something that's really cool is your body is always talking to you, and I feel like as sex people, we kind of know that more than anyone else, right? But I want us to really tune into hearing something that our body has to say today to us to figure out what we want to release erotically. In order to feel or get love, we often self-sabotage or do things, right, as a form of protection. And so in order to release this thing that you wrote down, I now want you to think about, and again, we're going to go back to the knowing of with our genitals, listening to what our body has to say. I want you to return to putting your hands back on your body, on your genitals, however it feels comfortable. We're going to go back to closing our eyes. And I want you to ask your body, how has the thing you've been silencing or ignoring, how has that been protecting you or making you feel better, feel included? What is the method of self-protection? Take a big deep inhale. Nice exhale. We're going to take a minute here to listen to our bodies. So thank you for being vulnerable with yourself. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, and thank yourselves for showing up here today.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi,
everybody.
So this is really exciting because I didn't know I'd run into you, and we've known each other for years, but it's our first time meeting, in person.
Yes.
I saw your little buns, and I like squeezed the shit out of you, and I almost wore space buns.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it takes like a long time for them to work, and I didn't have time.
Yeah, no, it is a bit of a time investment.
It is.
Look good.
It is, absolutely. Well, tell folks who you are.
Well, I'm Javay Da Bae, aka the Millennial Sexpert. I am a sex educator, an academic, a content creator, all the things that relate to sex. That is I.
And you've got a show coming out, right? The Kinky. Can we talk about it?
We can talk. We absolutely can. We're working on it.
Because I'm extremely excited, and every time I see it, I have an orgasm.
I know. We just need to sell it to a streaming platform. But welcome to Kinkyville. It is an animated kink education series. That's basically working to actually educate people on kink and BDSM and to like remove the stigma and shame and like get rid of this like terribleness where we think that because you are into kink and BDSM that you've been like traumatized in life and like your parents didn't love you, and like maybe the case for some people, but like most people that are involved in kink and BDSM, their parents absolutely love them and they know that they're into kink and BDSM.
My parents loved me, and I like some shit, y'all.
I love all the shits, and my mom
same.
knows it, and we talk
My
about
dad
it
does
plenty.
too.
Yes.
It's really fun.
Like, I regularly try and dress her up, and I'm like, you should wear a harness. She's like, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, I know. For my birthday, my dad and my sister got me a candle that was blindfolded, and I thought, and they were like, because it's kinky, and I'm like, bless you. Bless you.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's always so funny because my friends are always like, how was your mom about it? And I was like, well, let's see. Like, she came for Christmas, not this year, but last year. And every bed in our house has bed restraints because obviously.
Yes. Oh my God.
And so, like, she walks in the room, she's like, what is that? I was like, girl, stop it. She's like, what? I was like, it's for sex. She's like, oh, duh, it's your house. I was like, thank you. And it's like so funny because growing up, like my goal when I was like in middle school was to be a Playboy bunny. I told it to my mom, and she was like, go do it. Like, this woman she's down with the cause.
I love it. Oh my God. My goal when I was young, I wanted to be a stripper.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I just thought they were the coolest, and then
Honestly,
I learned through culture that I guess people thought they weren't the coolest, and I was like, oh, I didn't get that memo.
Literally,
I had the opposite memo.
I was like, I think it was just like a foreshadowing of like what our lives were gonna become, and we didn't realize at the time.
Yeah.
It was like literally the goal was sex work, and I just didn't realize that. I was just like, no, it's like, what do you mean? I get to look sexy and cute and walk around and be like, ooh.
Yeah, and then have people worship me. I mean, come on, praise King. Hello.
Yes.
Do you have anything fun coming up, or?
Oh my gosh, so much. Like my usual like workshops galore, but because I am doing so much travel this year, I'm going to a lot of new cities, and I'm hopefully going to teach workshops in them. Like we're hitting up New Orleans, Chicago, New York, like because generally I stick to the West Coast because like West Coast, best coast. But my research has me going a lot of different places, so I'm gonna be trying to spread the gospel of pleasure to the people.
Well, I'm so glad we got to finally All right, it's loud in here, but we finally finished. Woo! Feeling these hoes with pineapple support. We love it. Yelling in the lobby. So today is the last day of the XBiz award show, trade show. Tonight is the award show. And today I am all dolled up because I am going to be working with Camming Life and interviewing porn stars. I am so excited. I have a duffel bag all full of my makeup, my glam, my outfit changes, because we're going to be interviewing folks all day for different segments. So yeah, welcome to the final day of a life behind the scenes as a sex scholar. Let's do this. Will the hair get on mic? Let's talk about sex, baby.
It's a whole thing where it's like you have to know your pussy, and you have to be able to, if you're like with a girl who understands her pussy as well too. There's some people that like penetration while you're eating their pussy. Some people just want the clit. Yeah. And some people are so sensitive with their clit that they're like, you know what, I'm not somebody who handle the direct. Yeah, it's too much, and it depends. There's small clits, there's bigger clits. Some people have, bigger labias.
Yeah. And so this other Dom, like a dungeon master, came in and he gave us this pee pad because I guess at that space, if you're doing any type of play, you need a pee pad present. But I got pretty annoyed because it changed the aesthetic. Yeah. And then also he interrupted our scene. Yeah. And then also I'm like, I am wearing underwear and tights. If I wanted to have waterworks, baby, I would. Yeah. Like, My dog's making
I kept seeing a little ear pop up.
Yeah, this is Momo. This is Light of
Hey, Momo. Oh, lovely.
Oh, I love that I'm having tea and you're having wine. Let's cheers. So for everyone watching the vlog, welcome. I am sitting down here with Leia Tanit. who's the founder of Pineapple Support. And the weekend was so busy, we didn't really get a chance to sit down and talk. But you live in Ibiza and I live in LA, so everybody watching, it's not like 8 a.m. and we're going ham. It's Leah's evening and my morning, and I'm just excited to like let people know about what you do. So first, if you could just share like a little bit about who you are, maybe even who you were before Pineapple Support. And then we could dive into how this amazing company came to be.
Yeah. So I said I'm Leah Tannett, and I am CEO and founder of Pineapple Support. And that's who I am. It's kind of taken over everything. It's really interesting because I often think if I'd known just how much it was going to be all consuming, would I have started the charity in the first place? And the answer is probably no. But that's because I didn't know or appreciate what change can bring to someone's life, and having purpose. And yeah, I wouldn't change where I am now for the world. But it's been a big change from who I was, which was a content creator, professional dominatrix, and before that I used to work in fashion and do operations director for a small chain of boutiques. So it's a lot of change, but with that, I've been in the industry for 23 years now.
Wow. And that's the adult industry, everyone, if you're wondering which industry Leah's referring to, because Leah does have a great sense of style. So what is Pineapple? Yeah, right.
Pineapple Support is a nonprofit organization. We're a 501c3 registered in the US. If anyone wants to donate, tax deductible.
Yeah. We'll put a link in this YouTube so that way because you should donate.
We are an organization that provides mental health care and emotional support to people working in the online adult industry. And we do that in many different ways, from one-on-one therapy to support groups, education. We work with a lot of the adult platforms to provide education on how to deal with different situations, suicide prevention, crisis intervention, so that the content creators feel supported from the ground up, really. At the end of the day, the content creators are the foundation of the adult industry, and all the companies that are within it would not be around without them. So it's really important that we all work together and support each other in a little community.
Yeah. And what's really cool is Pineapple Support. I mean, you started this just a few years ago and it's really taken off. So because I think it's like maybe 5 years old or something. Like it's not that old as when you think of like businesses being that old, but you've had a huge impact. So do you want to share a little bit about what you guys have been able to do?
Yeah, we're 7. We're 7 in April. I thought we were 8. I've literally been counting on my fingers the last time. I'm sure we were 8. Anyway, 7 years old in April. And we've grown from, at the beginning, it was a group of my friends who were therapists who kind of said, we'll do this for you because we know you're going to succeed and we know you're going to be paid back for our time. It was all my own money, all my own funding, because it's very difficult to ask companies for money when you can't prove that you're going to be successful. And yeah, just kind of grasping at whatever we could to do whatever we could and provide whatever support I could afford. And now we have over 500 therapists working across 5 continents. I know. And I think we've given care to 16,000 people so far. It's quite impressive. I don't know how
so cool. That's amazing. I mean, it's such an accomplishment. And I had found out about Pineapple Support through a mutual friend who's a sex therapist and had come to some of your events and doing, that's how I found out about you guys. And it was so cool because I got my start studying porn. So that's how everything began. Was I was in school. I actually was going to be an English major. And because I wanted to write stories about dragons, and I still write those stories in my spare time. I don't know if they're any good, but I still do that. But I went to UC Berkeley and I wanted to change majors and I wanted to study sex. And they're like, well, oh, sorry, I wanted to study feminism and gender. And they said, if you switch majors now, you have to start a research paper. What could you research for 2 years and not get bored? And I was like, well, sex and porn. And so I got started by studying sex work. And so it felt so fated to like cross paths and be able to contribute to everything that you do. And something like sex work and sexual, like it's at the core of everything, of all the empowerment stuff, of all the healing, right? So that's so beautiful. And do you want to share, because I know it was an emotional moment in the industry when you started Pineapple Support, and there was a lot, like there was a real need for it. Do you want to share like what was maybe you noticing about the industry and mental health and what made you take a stand and do something?
Absolutely. It was very interesting because I'd been, as I told you, I've been part of the industry for a long time. At the beginning, I was kind of stripping, dancing, took a break, but it's always been there. It's always been a part of my life. And kind of growing up, I never really fit in. I experienced a bit of bullying. It was, well, you're so weird. You're so, why are you like that? And when I found the BDSM community, which I was very young, I was kind of 15, 16, but I found a flyer for a party and turned up, and they knew I was underage. But they kind of, as far as I was concerned, it was one room where people were just wearing cool clothes. And it wasn't until I was 18 that they kind of, I remember in England, 18 is consensual, is legal. Consensual, legal. At 18, they kind of opened doors like, oh, wow, this is all going on. So they really, really looked after me. But it was the first time ever that I'd actually felt like I belonged and that I'd found a community that accepted me for who I was. So even when I wasn't working in the sex industry, it was always part of my life. Um, and then after my divorce in my late 20s, I was very young to get married. I went back I had opened a store, a store selling hardcore BDSM equipment, and then got into modeling because people kept asking me to. Then I was doing dominatrix work because I needed the money. Um, and yeah, it was always kind of the content creation part was always kind of just something I could dip in and out of. And I went for my kind of big comeback. I took a little break. My brother was living with me, suffering with his mental health, and went across to LA for the XBiz Awards and AVN, and they were handing out suicide ribbons. I was like, oh, that's a bit of a downer, isn't it? We're an award show. Come on. Got inside, and it was five women under the age of 35 had taken their own lives within the last, I think, 8 weeks, the 8 weeks prior to the show. And it was just, how could that happen? How could that happen in a community that had been so caring and loving and accepting for me? And at that point, I was in a very stable financial position. And I thought, you know what? I have a knowledge of the industry. I have a background in business. And I have the money to create something and provide for myself, assuming I'm not going to make any income for a few years. And if I'm not doing this, so no one else has addressed it. People have tried and they've failed. And, as I said earlier, it's an all-encompassing job.
Yeah.
You can't do it as something on the side, and you can't do it as an individual porn company because then you're limiting your clientele to the people that are just registered with your platform, or you certainly won't get referrals from other platforms. So as I said, I've been in a very, very unique position, and it was kind of, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? So that was it, and I gave it all up.
And here we are,
I know.
7 years
Here we
later.
are.
Yeah, we're doing incredible work. I mean, it's such an inspirational story, not just the success, but the success with a mission. We need more of that in this world. So Thank you so much for everything that you do. And thank you for having me, because it is such a joy to be like working alongside you guys. So
I love working with you. It's so much fun.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
When we get together.
yeah, it's so good. All good things always happen. It's amazing.